Welcome and thanks for joining us for this episode. We're going to be talking today about threat actor types. So some different types of threats that we might encounter because not all actors are created equal,
I thought this was going to be your list of favorite threat actors.
Yeah, gosh.
So many.
Wish I could just think of a favorite.
Who do you start with?
Where do you really begin?
Yeah.
Don't ask me that question because I won't be able to answer. But we do have different, categories of threat actor that we might see. And like I said, not all threat actors are created equal. So I say we just move on down the list. What do you say?
Let's move on down the list. I actually feel like it would be kind of fun if we test Sophia.
See what I've learned.
On her understanding of these threat actor types. So I'm going to name the threat actor, and then we'll see, we'll just give you a nice little, 1 or 2 sentence definition out of your head.
And I'm not Googling.
And you're not Googling? No Google?
No Google.
No Google foo here, right? Which, right off the tippity.
Okay.
Let's see how it goes.
Please don't laugh at me.
Are you ready?
So ready.
Okay, here we go. The first on our list is going to be an easy one. Script kiddies.
So a script kiddie is somebody that's not highly experienced. They don't have a lot of technical or programming knowledge. So what they're doing is pulling stuff like from online. I think it's like they pull script from online, other people's code, and basically just throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks.
Judges? Ding, 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 ding. Yes.
One down.
Congratulations. 10 points on the board for our contestant, Sophia Goodwin.
Thank my mom.
Sophia, where are you from? Let's learn a little bit about our contestant today. Yeah. What's your mother's maiden name?
Yeah, last 4 of your social.
Well, yeah. Was she born in city-wise? Where were you kind of... but yes, absolutely, you hit the nail on the head. A script kiddie is just someone with low technical proficiency. They know enough to be dangerous. There is plenty of useful code that's out there on the interwebs that you could just grab and run it, and it very well may work. So if there's a vulnerability in an Apache server or something, you look for the code. There's a script. You run the script. Maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. They don't know what's happening. They just know attack Apache with script. Fire script, and hopefully that works. If it does, they jump for joy and shout for the heavens and say, hooray. If not, they move on to the next one. They don't really target anybody specifically. They're just seeing what they can do and causing a bunch of havoc and chaos. That's where it's at. We like to say in the business, we all kind of start off as script kiddies, right? Because at one point, we don't have a lot of expertise or knowledge or anything to that effect. But hopefully we are moving beyond that. It is a bit of a pejorative term, even though I've run into people that think that shouldn't be. Whatever. It is what it is. Just understand that is the case, that if someone calls you a script kiddie, they're not saying something nice about you. They mean that you are someone with low technical understanding and you're pretty weak.
And generally, the motivation for these kind of threat actors is usually to prove that they can do it, right? It's just see if they can do it.
Yeah.
And be like, I did it.
Yeah, it's kind of fun for them. It's a bit of a game. They don't mind causing the chaos and the havoc that it would follow running these scripts and bringing down these things, or just like you said, kind of look at what I did, man. I can show my friends. It's super cool. I'm cool. If you're not cool, stop doing that stuff. It's just. But they are out there, and there's plenty of them. There's no doubt about it. If you do start at the script kiddie level, which most of us do, work your way out of that hole, right? That's the goal anyway. We want to become a little bit better at our jobs. We want to understand this stuff a whole lot better.
Okay, so that's one down.
That's one down. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
The next one.
All
right, Sophia, your next threat actor type is insider threats.
Ooh.
Now, this is worth double the points because there are
Jeopardy.
2 types of insider threats that you can name.
So it's kind of in the name, right? It would be somebody that works for a company or has authorized access into a company, and either intentionally, so I guess it would be an intentional insider threat, they're doing something to cause damage or to cause a problem, right? Because they have insider knowledge and access. It could be unintentional though if they're just ignorant or doing things that they shouldn't be doing because they don't know. No, I say that.
Yeah, I love that. That was so awesome. I'm going to accept that answer based on her saying that they are ignorant.
I'm not trying to be mean, but they're ignorant of what they're doing. They're like, this is probably fine. Yeah, you can log into my account. No big deal. I'm trying to be helpful, but it's a bad thing. So that would be unintentional, right? Intentional versus unintentional insider threats? Maybe.
I love how she's continuing to try to keep defining it.
I feel like I'm missing
she's
something.
Landing on the right answer. You've hit the right answer. Yes, that is absolutely correct. There are 2 types of insider threats. The ones that are intentionally doing something bad, and there's those that are out there. I like to call them Billy. Right? You know, I always talk about, Billy. Yeah, why is Billy putting oil and rags together in the server room and next to a hot source of, that's not a good idea. That is an unintentional insider threat. As well-meaning as Billy is, they just, and what's funny to me is you did use the term ignorant, which is funny because we're in the South of the United States. That is considered to be a pejorative term. You might as well call somebody a script kiddie, right? Like they do not like that. It does not always necessarily mean that, and you use that in the context of they just don't know that they're doing something wrong. It's not intentional. They're not trying to be malicious. They just weren't aware that if they gave their password out to people or clicked links in emails and that kind of stuff, that bad things could happen. The real problem with the idea of insider threats, and they're probably one of the more dangerous threats that we have to worry about as security professionals. They have access. We have given it to them. We have a level of trust, to Sophia's definition, which was really well done. She's been doing her homework, and I'm proud of her so far.
So far.
We'll see. Right? The day is young, right? But, right, they have some access. We give them to our systems because that's what we hired them to do. They have a job to do. They need access to the systems. They are one of our users. And therefore, because they've already kind of bypassed all of our external firewalls and, security mechanisms that we throw in place, they don't have to worry about trying to get around that stuff. And that's why you'll see, if you just do a Google search really quickly for insider threats and some of the things that we've discovered, I think it was, there was a person that was approached by the Russian government to just take this USB key and plug it into a computer at your work. Where do you work? I work at Tesla, right? And he let the FBI know that he'd been approached for this, and they said, ooh, really? Don't tell them no. Tell them you want more money and you'll meet with them about it. And then there was an arrest made, and they said, oh, yeah, we've done this plenty of times. There's money. And I don't mind going to jail because the jail sentence isn't that long, and I'll be rewarded handsomely for keeping my mouth shut. It's like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, if you really get into the guts of what an insider threat can do to an organization and the things that they can extract, it's stinking crazy. So a big one you need to be aware of when it comes to real life land, but also for your categories of different types of threats that we need to be aware of. Now, that said, we're moving on to the next the type, right? The threat actor type.
Yes, threat actors for 500, yes.
Threat actors for 500. Ready for this one? Hacktivists.
Oh, that's also kind of in the name, right? It's a hacker with a cause. Somebody that's like, they're hacking, they're doing bad things, but they're doing it with like a justification in their mind. Like, I have this mission, I have this cause, I think this company's doing bad things and I want to take them down, or that's kind of the whole idea, right? That's
it. That's your 3 for 3. Excellent definition, absolutely. Because, right, they see some wrong in the world, and they are then justified in their actions for going against X, Y, or Z, right? So probably the most prominent and well-known hacktivist group would be that of the hacking group Anonymous. We all are probably aware of them. If not, welcome back after your little Google search there of Anonymous, and now you're probably going, wow, these people, whoa, it gets crazy. Yes, they've done a lot of different things, like the Ashley Madison hack was a big one, the Church of Scientology hack that they went after them. They got in a little scuffle, a kerfuffle. It's a lot of fun to say the word kerfuffle. I don't get to say that very often, so I'm going to use that today. Yeah, I got the opportunity. Here we are. Let's throw it on the table. But that's basically what it boils down to. They have a cause, they're going to hack for that cause, and they feel justified in their actions of doing it. All right. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
For the next one. This is another one. Fortunately for Sophia, a lot of them are kind of like in the name, defined. It's like news articles that tell you everything you know in the title.
Yeah. Or a movie trailer.
Everything you need to know.
That spills the entire plot.
There you go. Organized crime will be our next one.
Oh, I've done projects
You love organized. I know.
Yes.
You've been waiting.
Well, okay. So I don't love organized crime. It's bad. But
let me qualify
let
here.
me clarify.
Right? Yeah.
I have some Italian lineage, and so I have to put that caveat in there. I don't love it.
You got Cosa Nostra over here.
But it's fascinating to me. I think it's very interesting. So organized crime in general, like you think like the Cosa Nostra, like the mob and stuff. Right. But in a cybercrime sense, it would be like cyber gangs, right? So like I know that there actually is a presence of
like the actual
mafia
mafia,
that they are now using. Like,
well, yeah,
like
they're like, hey, we're leaving all this money on the table over here with these computers.
It's like they're taking advantage of computers and hacking and stuff now to engage in cybercrime. But also, there's gangs that are just like cyber gangs, right? Cyber criminal gangs.
Cyber criminal gangs out there. You nailed it. Good job. I'm so proud of her. She's making me super proud today. Because exactly right. It could be the actual mafia. They do engage in organized crime on the cyber front as well. But there are also these cyber gangs that are out there. They're just stealing money. That's what they're after. They want that do-re-mi. And so they use their hacking skills to, well, get that do-re-mi from you or me and everybody else. They're a horrible bunch of people, and they're probably some of the worst of the worst. Got to be honest with you, because they are nothing but money motivated, and there's nothing they won't do. I remember I was on the dark web, and there was this guy who was advertising his hacking skills. He's like, I will get someone arrested for like child crimes. I don't care. As long as your money's green, I'll do it.
Wow.
I'm like, whoa, that is crazy.
There's really like not really a line they won't cross.
Nope. Yeah, and it was so weird because he was also like, or if you just want to pen test your organization, I can do that too. I'm
wow.
like, what is happening here? Like, how do you wake up in the morning and look at yourself in the mirror and be like, yeah, I'll either pen test or, put some innocent in prison for one of the worst possible crimes you could commit.
Nothing personal, just business. Just business. What are you doing here?
Yeah, organized crime, right?
Yeah, exactly.
My brother. Fun fact, the dude in the old mob movie where he was like, man, you killed my brother, right? Yeah. He's in the 10 Commandments.
Really?
Yeah, and he's a bad guy in that as well. But
interesting.
it was just kind of funny. I was like, Moses up on the mountain.
You don't expect.
They're all like, he's trying to take a leadership role. And he's like, yeah, Moses is dead. See, yeah, we should go back to Egypt. I always thought that was funny.
Yeah, follow me.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll have to watch that.
Very funny. All right, moving on.
We
have our next one, which is actually kind of a big deal. Nation state.
So like state sponsored.
So
it would be
what
like.
What does that mean though? Give us a definition there. That's what we're looking for.
You can't just
circular
reasoning.
Yeah. So a nation state actor is a nation state threat actor.
Yes, it's an actor sponsored by a state and or nation.
Is that good?
Or nation state. So
judges, no.
When we talked about Stuxnet, that was an example of a state sponsored attack, right? It was
prime example.
It's like it's a cyber attack, but it's being backed by like a government, right?
That is exactly right. Believe it or not, our governments, well, they might hold hands and sing Kumbaya on the news or whatever. And even if they are legitimately friendly or even allies, that doesn't mean that we are not conducting cyber activities, because there is a cyber war that's going on out there. And there's absolutely countries that are not friendly with each other and in a cyber war. And we saw that probably most preeminently with the idea of seeing Stuxnet, where it does seem that it was Israel, the United States, and maybe a few others that kind of got together, created some extremely crazy malware that attacked centrifuges for nuclear enrichment program, right? That Iran specifically was engaged in. They were trying to create. Yeah, you've got a
I kind of want to know what countries were involved other than the U.S. and
yeah. Well, no one comes out and says, "Well, yeah, that was us, the old Stuxnet."
Sure,
man. What are you gonna do?
We got to take credit for that one.
No one's taking credit for it. This is just at least not that I've heard.
Iran, Indonesia, India. They were affected.
Yeah. So QK Khan, this guy QK Khan or KQ Khan or whatever, he was selling the ability to create nuclear weapons and nuclear, right? And this is it's a big deal. If you've never heard of the book Sandworm, you should check that out. It's all about Stuxnet. Yeah, she's over here sticking a book in her Amazon cart right now. It's everything you ever wanted to know is probably in that book. I want to say they're even I feel like there's a movie in the works on that one too.
Probably.
I hope so.
That's your homework. Go find out.
That's super awesome, right? Yeah. But our governments, they have hackers. Think of things like NSA, CIA, all these intelligence agencies, they have to have hackers. I actually met the lady that used to run the NSA's hacker group. And of course, all our military branches have their own hacking groups, not threat groups, hacking groups. I mean, depends on your perspective, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's true.
If I was a country that they were after, I would consider them a threat. And there you go. So that's another type of hacker that's out there, those nation states. We get attacked by countries like North Korea and China and Russia all the time. So it's a common thing to see those cyber missiles coming across the pond every now and then. And if you ever look at any threat map right now, it's probably just, you just see it going back and forth.
Never stops.
It never stops. Yeah, yeah. So are we ready for our next one?
I'm so ready.
And this is one of my favorites. This is I'm just going to give you the acronym. Let's see how you do. APT.
Advanced Persistent Threat, right?
Yes.
The T was easy because that's in there. It's in the title of the episode.
Right,
so
kind of talking about
if
that.
I couldn't get that, we'd have some
Well,
problems.
could you define an advanced persistent threat?
I think so. So I in some of these categories, there's some overlap, right? So like
Yes.
an APT could be like a state-sponsored threat, right?
Correct.
Doesn't have to be, but it could be.
Yep.
But from what I understand, it's usually a lot more sophisticated. Their goal is to get in and then stay in for a long period. They want to stay undetected for a long period of time. And usually it's a lot more sophisticated, like high-level techniques that they're using.
Absolutely. Very good. That was an excellent definition. Man, I think she's going to round out the bases here, ladies and
I feel like I
gentlemen.
can take an exam after
Man,
this.
I know, right? And you should, right?
Do my best.
That's right. So advanced persistent threats, everything that you just said, absolutely correct. These are high-level, very advanced threat actors that their goal is to target a specific thing and go after a specific thing, hopefully gaining access into their target and being able to hang out, exfiltrate data, use their processing power for X, Y, and Z reasons, never really being detected, hence the term advanced and persistent, right? These people have coding skills that are top tier, tier 1, right? Their security skills, also tier 1. These definitely, the nation state, the APTs are almost always in that tier 1 level of capabilities. So if you look at, they have infrastructures, they have built their own code, they don't use off-the-shelf stuff, they're always creating their own tools. They have tactics and procedures that they use that end up being followed by those that are lesser than and capabilities. They go, oh yes, we should totally do exactly what they did because it was so effective at what they were trying to accomplish. So APTs, always something we have to look out for. They typically have malware that gets associated with them because they've developed their own strains of malware, and then there are derivatives of these malwares. So you should take a look, go online, look up, I think FireEye or Mandiant, I guess they are now, and even Kaspersky. A couple of these different groups will get out there and they will create APT names, and so you'll hear things like Cozy Bear or Fancy Bear and Lazarus or APT 29 and APT 32 and things of that nature. And that's all to give a designation to these different APT groups where they're at. You can look those up. So if you're being targeted or you're in an industry or organization that these specific groups tend to target, then you can kind of know who am I most likely to come up against when it comes to what I need to do as far as security goes. And I can start to use things like the MITRE attack framework to figure out what is their methodology, and maybe I can put some fences up that are specific to those methodologies, kind of doing that threat modeling thing we like to do so much because it's specific to those APTs. So very cool stuff, very horrible stuff as well. So, but great answer. I'm 2 thumbs up on that.
But you see what I mean about like it's cool. It's interesting.
Right.
It's not that I think the actual
you're not awesome. Yeah.
But it's like interesting to learn about, and the fact that they're so high level is fascinating, I guess.
And I mean, I want to admire their skills.
Right. Yeah.
I
don't
admire
respect you.
them. Right.
But I can admire that you're so talented.
You nailed it.
You're a horrible person, but dang, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. What's wrong with you? Yeah. And your skills. Well, tip
Have to.
my hat on that. Yeah. All right. Let's hit the last one. We'll call it a show, which is going to be for 1,000 points in the overtime round here. Supply chain.
So I didn't know this was a separate category of like a specific type of threat actor. I know supply chain attacks, like they generally, like a supply chain attack targets like a developer or something, I guess a supplier, right? So the goal is to like, it's in the name. I'm not trying to use circular reasoning, but it's an attack that specifically targets I don't know if it would specifically be a software developer or if it would be just developers of
It
anything.
can be hardware as well. Typically, a lot of hardware has software built into it.
True.
So a supply chain. Well, give me your definition. Let's hear your definition first, because I think you just kind of guessed at it. I want to hear you say, "This is my answer."
Okay, this is my answer. For like a threat actor.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess a threat actor that focuses on supply chain attacks, I'd have to say they target specific organizations or specific types of organizations that supply important or crucial things or parts, hardware, in order to, I guess, stop the process of like getting stuff done. I guess it's very vague.
Okay.
It's very vague.
This one seems like it's
I'm not as
CompTIA.
familiar with
This one, okay. What was the overtime round? So you still get to keep your,
my new car.
Yeah. It's
My vacation to the Bahamas.
your Toyota Yaris is safe and sound.
Oh, goody.
The brand new 2023. You'll apply. Yeah, wait. You have to pay taxes on that.
That's right.
Because the government sees that as income. Anywho. So here's the thing about supply chain actors. So they do focus on going after. I would say you were probably 2/3 right.
Okay.
Right. I think where you were falling down was where you didn't really understand what a supply chain attack was. And what's important about it is it's basically just an actor who focuses on supply chain, which is the part you got right. Supply chain attack is where, let's say I have a piece of software. I don't know. Let's call it solar. What's a solar breeze? Let's call it let's call it Sunny Breeze. So you got this software called Sunny Breeze, and a lot of people use Sunny Breeze. They love Sunny Breeze. It's the gold standard for whatever it is Sunny Breeze does, like monitoring and asset and all sorts of crazy stuff. Everybody loves it and everybody uses it. Like, let's say governments, right? Now, if I were a threat actor who targets those types of organizations and I were able to gain access into Sunny Breeze's infrastructure, and I had access to their code repos, their certificate signing capabilities, encryption keys, all that fun stuff that's usually behind lock and key. And I then were able to modify the actual code that goes out for like an update or something. When you, as the consumer of said Sunny Breeze product, do your update, guess what? It's now Trojanized. It's now ransomwareized, or whatever the heck I'm going to do with it as a threat actor. So I use Sunny Breeze as a proxy to gain access to others.
Okay.
Right? Going after their code, or if I was able to get my hands on a hardware manufacturer and were able to jump into that process of creation of whatever hardware product they make and insert my own piece of hardware, like maybe I had a chip that had specific instruction sets on it that they are using, and I was able to feed them that chip, and they were building that chip into their product. I now have backdoor to every single switch or router or whatever that the chip IoT device that they were creating. I now can just log into that.
Okay.
Right. So this is the danger of the supply chain attack.
So you've got all these different organizations or all these different users that have this one supplier in common of something. And so if you can get in there, now you can affect all these
exponential at
that
that point.
Gotcha.
Right. So now whoever uses that product, whether it be software, hardware, or both, or whatever, are now compromised targets.
So it's really not that you're like, I want to get into Sunny Breeze, and like Sunny Breeze is my least favorite company. It's more like, well, they supply to all these different people, and if I can get in there, then I can affect a lot of different things.
You nailed it.
Okay.
Yes. That is it.
After he explained it to me, now I get it.
Now you get it.
Now I get it.
Now you get it. Well, there you go. These are the threat actor types for today. I think you did fairly well. I would say you definitely won the game.
Yay.
I'm very proud that you have learned a lot.
Well, I would hope. It's been like 2 years that I've been here. I hope I've learned a little bit. So thanks for letting me play. That was fun. Thanks, Mom, for watching. Thank you for walking us through this. And this is my last thank you. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.